Welcome back, students, and today we take up Lesson 2. And Lesson 2 covers 3 chapters in your book. Chapter 4, the market forces of supply and demand, which will be our first topic of discussion in class. The second, Chapter 5, elasticity and its applications. And elasticity is a term that refers to rate of change. Rate of change. When prices change, the behavior of both suppliers and demanders changes, and elasticity is the answer to the question, how much change? Our third chapter, Chapter 6, deals with supply, demand, and government policies, in particular, those times when the government chooses to reject, or when the people through government reject the results of the price system and want to impose price controls, either price floors or price ceilings. So we will look at those issues in Chapter 6. We have several discussion questions for class. There are 3 in lesson number 2, and I'd like you to bring your lesson 2 worksheet with you to class, and that will allow us to read those lesson activities. That is worth 50 points for the week, and it is due before midnight next Tuesday night. And so we extend that a little bit beyond the Sunday deadline because you're going to need the full week. Secondly, there's a lesson assignment, a lesson 2 assignment that is worth 100 points. We probably will not get to that in class, and so you will have to submit that on Moodle. And it is listed there at the bottom. 3 problems, problem 3, problem 11, and problem 8. 1 from each of the chapters, 4, 5, and 6. So we'll do those. We'll take a look at them in class. Basically, our learning objectives here are to understand the, first of all, principles of supply and demand. Supply, or the theory of supply, is the theory of the producer. Demand, or demand theory, is the theory of the consumer. Both of these are fairly well-developed neoclassical microeconomic theories. That means they were developed in the 1800s. They are still valid today and are largely agreed upon amongst all capitalist actors, market actors. Those will be businesses as well as governments. Secondly, we want to explain how the law of supply affects market activity, and we want to look at how the interaction of supply and demand creates markets and sets prices. Our fourth learning objective is to understand the concept of elasticity as a measure of how much buyers and sellers respond to changes in market conditions. Number 5 learning objective is to explain the effect of some event or policy that affects the markets and which direction it would likely move them. And that is a very simple and useful skill that we will develop in class. We next take a look, learning objective, at analyzing types of government policies using only the tools of supply and demand, what Adam Smith called the invisible hand. We will also look at what later pundit termed the visible foot, that is, government using coercion, threats, and punishment to force certain market outcomes irrespective of the freely fluctuating markets and their actors, buyers and sellers. How do these policies achieve their effect? What are their architects thinking? And why economists, as a rule, are generally not in favor of price controls. However, we will look at the impact of those. So that is our lesson for the week. Do bring the lesson 2 outline with you, and we will introduce you to the price system and the theory of markets and how that controls economic outcomes. Looking forward to seeing you shortly. Bye-bye.